Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Econobox Garage. In this week's episode on our Bugeye build, I'm going to repair the front and rear engine plates, and then I'm also going to get the seals and bearings installed in the rear hubs. Thanks for joining me this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. This week I was hoping to get started on putting metal back in on the back end of the car. Very helpful information has been provided by some forum members and other enthusiasts with some measurements of how the back end of the floor is supposed to look, what the drop is, the latch, and then someone has also sent me an actual template off the back of the Bugeye floor. But I'm waiting for a couple of parts yet. And when those parts arrive, I'll get back to work on that. So in the meantime, I have a couple of things that I can do. One of them is to weld up the front and back plates. So if you recall, there's a crack in here that needs to be welded up. And on the front plate, put in a little patch in here. In an earlier video, I showed you the bracket, or where the front plate had broken on the alternator. I guess that's called the pillar bolt, and that had broken out. So basically I've started work on filling in this little thing here. So I'm going to clean up these welds. I did attempt to do it while it was still on the engine, but this will be a lot better. So I'll just clean that up and weld from both sides. It's one little project for this week. So the other thing I'm going to work on this week is getting the rear hubs assembled to a certain degree. I have new seals and new bearings to go in. And I've also, the hubs are painted, and just in case you're wondering what the zip tie is for, that just tells me that this is the one that goes in the left-hand side, or the driver's side. So what happens here is the seal goes down in this surface here. That goes in first, and then the bearing goes in to here. I also have the O-ring. Those get put in when you put the rear axle back together. So for this week, I'm just going to get the seals in and the bearings in. So what I'm going to do is actually going to put these bearings in the freezer while I'm working on the welding on the front and back plates. Theoretically, I believe they'll shrink enough that they should just drop in to here. So I'll go and do that, and then I'll get to work on the welding. So there you can see I've just made a little bit of a V or groove in here to make it easier to get some weld into there. So we'll get to that in a minute. But before I do that, I'm going to clean up the front mounting plate. I have the crack welded up on the back plate, and I have the little patch put in on the front plate. All I need to do now is drill a hole for that pillar bolt, and that is good to go. So there we have the front plate all patched up and hole drilled, and for the replacement pillar bolt, which it looks in a lot better shape than what came out of there. So I'm going to get started on the rear hubs now. First thing is going to be putting the seals in, and this basically is where the wheel mounts, and then the back side of that is towards the rear axle. So actually these are the wheel studs right here, and with the seal there's basically a flat spot, and then you have the lips, and this is the way this goes in. So the flat goes towards the axle. So I'm going to put a light coat of grease on those, and then once I have both seals in here, I will go and grab those bearings out of the freezer and see if my theory worked. I have given these a really good clean with some brake clean, so just using some of this CRC stuff. So I know those are clean. Got just a little bit of grease on each of those, get those pressed into place. So there are the bearings installed. This one went in really easy with having been in the freezer. This one I had to tap in a little bit, but it went in fairly straightforward. This one just pushed right all the way in. So these are Timken 207FF bearings that I've used in here, and so I will put a link in the description below. So if you'd like to pick those up for your own project. Well, that wraps up this week's episode on the Econobox Garage. Thanks for joining me. Not a lot done this week, as I'm waiting for parts to finish off the rear valence and to finish off the rear brakes. So hopefully those arrive in time for next week's episode, as I'd like to get all the major metal work done on the body so I can start on prepping for paint. In the meantime, please be sure to like, subscribe. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave a comment below. If you'd like to get in touch with me directly, the easiest way to do that would be through Instagram Direct, and I'll put my tag up in the corner here for you. So my name is Ian. This is the Econobox Garage. We'll see you next time.